Hi, everybody. I just wanted to share how I discovered Shilajit. Not only just Shilajit, but the best Shilajit. And it all starts with my friend Al. You all have heard me talk about Al Morenton of My Fit Life before. Al and I met, gosh, like 15 years ago. We became friends. And that was because I had to elicit donations for a silent auction for my kids' preschool event. And I reached out to Al. He graciously donated boot camp lessons, and he had the best boot camp in the area. And as soon as we finished that auction, I immediately went and signed up because I saw how incredible his system was and how effective his workouts were. And as I continued to become part of his My Fit Life community, I learned even more, especially when we did the supermarket tour. He took us around the store and just pointed out, hey, this is things you want to avoid at all costs. These are things you want to be cautious of and why. And these are things you definitely are okay buying and eating. And I was a huge wake-up call because I had no idea of all the things that were happening in the market. And so that was the beginning. I realized, wow, he's pretty intelligent. Plus, he wrote a book on whole health living, and that was fascinating. The man was really knowledgeable about health and fitness. And he was the first person I'd come across that just made sense. And that was because of the research he does. No one is better on researching all the things regarding health. And as you get to know Al, it's very clear he is passionate about health and well-being and making sure that what you're getting and consuming is the absolute best. And when I say best, I don't mean like the gold or whatever, just the absolute cleanest and most effective for what you're using it for. So from there, Al had introduced us to Shilajit. It's about minerals, and they're really important to our cells. Just I don't know. He can explain the science, but I just knew he knew what he was talking about. So I started taking the Shilajit. I was a busy mom of two young kids, and I know I didn't drink coffee, and so this was something I could use to help get me going, and I just felt good. Overall energy, in fact, they call it life force energy, Shilajit. And I thought that was so cool. What an awesome phrase to elicit what it's giving you. And so we were excited when he brought that into the community and we were getting it. And then he ended up closing down My Fit Life boot camp and went on to other things. I was so disappointed because now I was wandering. I'm like, oh no, I don't have my weekly contact with him. I don't know what's new. I don't know what I should be looking out for. So I began doing my own stuff. But, being a busy mom, it's hard to make that a priority. So you end up being dependent on people like Al, who has the time and focus to do that kind of research and find the best things. And eventually, Al came across, when he lost his supplier of Shilajit, he came across this man named Greg who had sea miracles, and they were sea minerals, and they had, I believe it was potassium in it, or no, iodine. That's what it was. I was looking for iodine, and he just happened to come out with the sea miracles, and I'm like, oh yes, perfect. That's exactly what I needed. And this was right before I realized I was going to be getting a cancer diagnosis. But that was one of the things I was, deficient in. And so I was really excited when he got that, but then the owner got sick, and so he ended up closing his company down, and we were without minerals again. And so then the pandemic happened, and that was disappointing for a variety of reasons, several. But we were still focused on health because we had to stay healthy, right? And then in October 2020, that's when I got my cancer diagnosis. And Al was my first call. Like, hey, what do I do? When he's like, okay, you're going to up your dosage on this. You're going to take this and, just eat like this. And okay. And I did. And because of the things he taught me, I always impressed all my doctors, not intentionally. It was just because I had listened to what Al had told me, that they always looked at my results and they looked at me and like, you don't present like somebody who has your condition. And I know half of that is my attitude. I always have a positive attitude, and that's something I've always cultivated. But on top of that, I put my faith and trust in Al and his guidance on nutrition. And that showed in my results, my labs, because yes, I had a serious condition and it wasn't getting better, but I was still thriving, if that makes any sense. And then after that, I think in 2021, Al got a new supplier of Shilajit. Like, okay, cool. Let's put that back in the regimen. And the only thing with that was it was a resin, and this is what it looked like. And it hardens over time. And this is what I would use to get it out. But as cancer progresses, and I'm sure most cancer patients will tell you, we get tired and we start getting weak. So trying to dig that out in the morning started to become a huge task. And I'm like, yeah, I'm too tired. I don't have the energy. I don't have the muscle strength. I'm going to skip it right now. And plus, the doctors put me on all kinds of other things. So, I kind of let that slide. And then Al came out with the Shilajit Elixir and solved all the problems because we could get it in a liquid tincture that all I had to do was just squeeze the dropper full and I was good to go. Now, mind you, I would get up and I'd have a hard time. This was the first time in my life I would allow myself just to sleep in, because if I didn't, I would have a hard time the rest of the day. And that wasn't okay. So when he introduced the elixir, I'm like, oh, yes, that means I can go ahead and just quick. I don't need the strength or muscle strength. I don't need the ice pick anymore. I can just go ahead and put drops in my tea or my water, hot water. That's all I did. My husband put us in regular water. And I was finding I had energy. And I'm like, whoa. It was immediate. It wasn't like I was bouncing off the walls. It wasn't that kind of energy. It was like all of a sudden I'm awake and I can think. I can complete thoughts. I can go ahead and, plan a dinner and make a meal and, do the things I couldn't do before because I was struggling. I was mineral deficient. And that's what Shilajit has, minerals. And not only just minerals. This is important because Al researched them. And he got the most premium source of the Shilajit. Like, these are coming from the Himalayan mountains. We've seen videos of these guys climbing the mountains and scaling them and bringing the Shilajit down and then, and sending it over to Al. This was a relationship that he cultivated, and that's what he does. And that was the other thing I appreciate about Al, is he cultivates the relationships with his sources. It's not just, hey, yeah, I'll just order this or that. It's like, no, I need that, and because it's beautiful. He's not doing things, his practices are very helpful to nature. He's not trying to source anything that destroys nature. He's sourcing things that are in commune with nature. And that's important because that energy that comes with that product is good. That plays into the effectiveness of it. Therefore, when it says they have life force energy, that's awesome, because that's truly what I feel when, after I take it. I feel like I've got some life in me again and I can continue on. And I don't drink coffee. That was one of the things they told me. No, you can't have that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I wasn't really a big coffee drinker before. So no big deal, but Shilajit Elixirs, that has made a huge difference, not only in my just getting energy, but just my cancer journey. Like, we're put through some tough stuff. If you don't have cancer, you have no idea what that feels like, because I didn't until I had to go through it. And because of what Al taught me, I was able to maneuver through all those things and phases well. Not perfect, not woohoo above everybody else, nothing like that. I should just function better and appreciate life more and be more grateful that I actually had this available to me. And that's why I'm grateful to Al and My Fit Life for always being just a step above everything they do. That it is his passion, and it shows in everything he brings forth. So again, I just can't recommend the Shilajit Elixir especially enough, because one, it's clean and pure. It is the highest grade that you can possibly get. And it's in a delivery system that is very user-friendly. Seriously, I mean, you just squirt it in your drink and you're good to go. So, um, I again, you just gotta take this. It's just a staple in your toolbox for your health. I totally recommend the Shilajit Elixirs, and I wish you all vibrant health as you go on from here. Thank you for listening.